Hello and welcome to how to use a decision matrix. So a decision matrix is basically a matrix or grid or chart or table or whatever you want to call it that helps you to compare different ideas and make a decision that's based on criteria instead of emotions or opinions. First you have to come up with lots of different ideas, and in this particular case they're saying that some students are going to build some puzzle pieces, some 3D puzzle pieces, and they want to know which material would be best, and they're going to use a decision matrix to decide that. So their first option is model and play. It's reusable, it's easy to get, it does not come in cubes, so they do have to make their own cubes. It will be sticky, so it'll stick to itself, but the cubes probably won't be very precise because the students are making it themselves. They could also use caramel cubes, which are cheap, easy to get, they're already cube-shaped, they're sticky so they'll stick to themselves, but their cubes aren't very cube-like, or they're not very precise. Dice can be expensive and difficult to get, but they are reusable. They would require two-sided tape in order to stick to each other, but it would be pretty stable once they were stuck to each other, and they're very cube-shaped. Centimeter cubes, often found in math class, are cheap because you just borrow them from a math teacher. They're reusable, they interlock so you wouldn't have to stick them together, but because they interlock, they have protrusions or parts that stick out, but they also have very precise geometry. Foam blocks are another option. They're expensive, they are reusable, but they would require two-sided tape. And two-sided tape doesn't stick to foam very well, so the puzzle pieces would fall apart easily. And even though they're foam blocks, they aren't very precise cubes. The final option would be sugar cubes. Sugar cubes are cheap, readily available, but they would require glue to stick together, and every time you use them, they're going to leave little sugary granules everywhere. But sugar cubes come in really uniform cubes. So then the team would look at all their ideas and compare them to criteria that they have picked out, sometimes also to its specifications. There's cost, reusability, geometry, connections, cleanliness, resilience, testability. These are all things that the team were talking about when they went over their cube options, so they're probably pretty good criteria for this assignment. However, there are always lots and lots of different kinds of specifications and criteria you can use. How long will it last? The size, the cost, the safety. Lots and lots of different kinds of specifications for every project. So then you need to decide how you are going to scale. I recommend a rank scale. In this particular case, they've decided on a 4-to-1 rank scale, which is fine. 4 would be the most points, which is best, and 1 is the fewest points, so that's worse. Over here, if it meets a qualification, that's good, so it gets 2 points, and if it doesn't meet a qualification, it gets 0 points. Really, the rank should be 6-to-1 because there are 6 different ideas, and that way you are ranking them from best to worst, which is going to be better in the end for your decision-making matrix. And with this particular project, they have the different options for making the puzzle piece cubes and their different criteria. And in some of these categories, they're going to use the best to worst rank, and in others, they're going to be yes to no. Whenever you're using decision matrix, it's very easy to want to just use yes and no for all of them. However, you're going to end up with scores at the end that are very, very similar. So I definitely recommend at least 2 or 3 of your categories being ranked because it'll help you out in the end. So here is how they're ranking the cost. Because sugar cubes and interlocking centimeters were the cheapest, they got the most points. Caramel cubes were the next cheapest, then modeling clay, and then dice and foam were the most expensive, so they got the least. Reusable was either yes or no. Either you could reuse the material or you couldn't, and so it either got 2 points or no points. So you can see here they've ranked all of their different categories, and they're using a mixture of the rank system and the yes-no system. When they're all done, they're going to take each row and add it up across for the total points that each idea earned. So you'll see here that some of the ideas score quite close to each other, like 10 and 11, and 16 and 15, but one scores clearly higher than all of the others, and part of that is that ranking system, is going to help make sure that your points are nice and different. So here it shows that interlocking centimeter cubes are clearly better than any of the other options. Even if somebody else was super excited about using modeling clay, it's just not the best idea for this particular project. You want your decisions for projects and things like that in engineering to be based on logic and analysis and not personal opinion, which can be very difficult. It's very difficult to decide that the thing that you really wanted to do is maybe not the best solution for the project. So the decision matrix just kind of helps us see what is the best for the project. And it's a tool that professionals use, and it's a tool that you'll be seeing throughout Project Lead the Way in middle school and high school.